Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Horsetooth Tony here. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the F-100D. This is turning out to be my favorite United States jet. It's a 9.7 BR. Hands down, really good jet once you understand how to use it and what it's good at and what it's not good at. So let's get into that a little bit. So now with the F-100D, it has a top speed of 906 miles per hour when spaded. That also equals to 1,458 kilometers per hour. Now that's pretty good, especially when you get to the 9.7 games. You can pretty much outrun everything except for a lightning. When you get up tiered to the 10.7 games, it's a little, you can't outrun any of the MiGs or anything, and you can't outturn them. The thing you have to do at that BR is going to be support. You're not going to want to get into the fight right away. You're going to want to run away, get altitude, and come down. And you're going to want to use those missiles on unsuspecting enemies. That's how I pick up a lot of my kills in those high tier games. But still going back to the stats, as a rate of climb of 15,591 feet a minute, which turns out to be 40 meters a second, which is also really good. This is all spaded. It has a pretty good climb. The only thing that bugs me about it is in real life this thing had about 10,000 feet a minute more of rate of climb than the game's given it, which I think they should just give this jet this rate of climb, being Harriers can reach 6K in like 3 minutes. I've seen it. They tell me all about it. Bane of my existence right there. So guys, this jet, what I do from the very get-go of the match is I always raise my flaps before I take off, because they're not really needed to generate lift, because you can usually get a good amount of speed going before you ever leave the runway. I try to take off at about 230, 240 miles per hour and instantly flip my gear up inside. After that, I just keep on a straight path until I hit about 500, 550 miles per hour, and then I pitch up into a 20-degree angle climb. The reason why I do this at a 20-degree angle climb is because at 20 degrees of climb, you can still gain speed with the F-100. That's really good for getting higher than everybody else. Besides, we know those cancerous Harriers that can outclimb everything. But against most other jets, you're going to be able to get to where you want very fast. And then if I need a little bit more altitude after that, I'll just pitch straight up, because the whole time I'm climbing at that 20 degrees, I'm gaining speed. So let's say I get to about 15k feet. I notice I need to climb more. I'm probably going about 630, 640 miles per hour at that point. I just pitch straight up, crank that afterburner, and just try to get as much altitude as I can. And the reason why I'm doing this is because A, I'm side climbing away from the battle from the get-go, which everybody should do in the F-100. Just side climb away, get your altitude, come in, make sure you're fast. Now with that being said, this jet does have some compression with being fast. After about 730 miles per hour, your elevators and your roll rate will really be diminished, which you have to do a lot of compensation for that. There's a lot of times I'll be on an attack and I won't be paying attention to my speed, and I'll notice that I can't roll with them, I can't really turn with them like I should or could if I was going at a lower speed. But that also goes with the playstyle of the F-100. You always want to be fast in this thing. So it's kind of, you got to pick and choose when you want to be fast and when you want to turn. My rule of thumb, if it's a one-on-one, there's not many people left in the game, I'll turn, or I'm surrounded by allies. Now, it's going a little bit more in depth on the turning of this thing. Its turn is 40 seconds spaded, but you can turn way faster than that at the perfect speed. And the perfect speed I found was around between like 500 and like 650 miles per hour. And when you're in there, you can turn really fast and you can surprise a lot of people in the F-100. But the downside to that is you bleed energy like nothing else I've ever seen. It's just, I've never seen my speed go down so slow. It's almost as if you put an air brake out. But with that being said, 500 to about 650 miles per hour is your best turning speed. You can utilize that to get the upper hand in dogfights, surprise people, enemies that think you're probably not going to be able to turn with them, and then all of a sudden you bring that nose around with that turn speed and you land your shots. But it does come with risks from being slow. Enemies can pick you off while you're slow after you bleed all that speed. But you really got to choose when you're going to do it in this jet. It has decent acceleration, but its acceleration gets better the faster it goes. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I swear I see that number go up faster the faster I'm going. So with the fighting style or play style of this jet, you always want to kind of climb away from the combat, especially with the Harriers at 9.7, and then you want to keep your speed up, like 600 miles per hour at a minimum, because you're going to be turning good, and if you do turn at that, you're going to bleed some speed and not be super slow. And overall, you want to stay fast. You don't want to give people an opportunity to turn and engage. And the strong suit of the F-100 is its insane speed for its BR. So you just want to abuse that as much as you can. Boom and zoom tactics or boom and run tactics are the way to go. Minimal turning in this. Just don't really turn unless you absolutely have to. And this thing, you will love it. You will love this jet. That is the way this thing needs to be flown. Once I started doing that, stopped turning less with people, I was noticing my kills were going up. I kept trying to go for aces, but I couldn't get them. Like this video right here is an up tier, and I almost got an ace with it. I just whiffed on, I think it was a Mirage. I whiffed on a head-on, and I didn't land, and then ended up dying soon after. But this gameplay right here shows that you can do good in F-100 in top tier, but only if you fly it with boom and zoom and boom and run. Other than that, there's no other way. And like I said with the Harriers, that is exactly how you have to play it. Just because you want to be able to outrun those SRAMs and make sure every missile misses. With regular missiles, R60s and stuff, you want to have that high speed, at least like Mach 9.5 and up, so you can pull those crazy G-turns or do a snap roll and try to get the missile to miss. Now, if you're going Mach speed and an SRAM's behind you, and the Harrier shot it from, I use freedom units, so it's 6k feet, 7k feet, you can outrun that thing with your speed alone, because it only has a 10k foot range. So if he's already shooting at 6 and you're going 700 miles per hour or 760 miles per hour, you're going to be able to get outside of its range before it hits you, no matter how fast that thing's flying. And then another good way to dodge the SRAMs is you can abuse the snap roll. That's not 100%. You have to wait until the thruster's off, and it's very close. You can snap roll out of the way out of it at the last second. But like I said, it's not always the case. Sometimes it will still lock you and just give you a bad day. The cancer that the Harriers are. Now we're going to get into the armaments of the F-100. Its main armament is 4 20mm M39A1 cannons, which I have a very big love-hate with. Sometimes they work for me. Other times I'll lace someone up with them and they'll still be flying, especially Harriers and Yaks. Or I'll do a head-on and I'll get a critical hit or a hit, even though I watch my rounds hit them in the wing. I'm like, that wing should be gone. I'm using air belts with high explosive rounds. It should just hit and blow up, especially with 4 20mm. But then on the other hand, sometimes I just shoot a short burst and the thing bursts into flames, or a wing comes off and he's dead. So for me, it's a love-hate for the cannons, but the thing that I love about this jet is those AIM-9Es at this BR. You have a decent range you can fire them at people. I usually fire them at like 18,000 feet on unsuspecting people. The reason I shoot them at 18,000 feet is, or I try to, sometimes closer, sometimes a little bit farther, is those missiles fly at 2.5 Mach and have a 10G overload. So the farther you shoot it, the more time it has to get the lead on the enemy jet. And the farther you are, the less likely that enemy is gonna see your missile icon on their screen. So you can really surprise the hell out of people. My favorite thing to do is, after I'm done side climbing, find the first Harrier I can find and launch a missile at it. There's been times with my tactics of shooting the 9Es that I'll fire it at 18,000 feet, I'll see that jet turn, and then 10 seconds later, I'll just get an aircraft destroyed. And I was like, the thing was just turning, how did that hit? Not questioning the missile magic. And it also has an assortment of ground attack bombs and I think some missiles. I don't really use them. The most I use the bombs, because I'm an ARB player, I don't really play tanks, was when I first got this jet, I would take the bombs, bomb an airfield from the get-go, just to ensure I was going to get some points. Past that, I never really used the ground attack. I'm pretty sure you could use the rockets on this thing and probably shoot some jets down, but that'd be really hard. I'd be interested to see if anyone does that. I'm going back to the missiles. I shoot them at 18,000 feet. I want to know what you guys shoot them at and what your best range is and how you use them. I'm not really good with jets. I don't think so. I'm nowhere near as good with jets as I am with props. So I really want people to kind of help me out, improve my gameplay, and hopefully this video helps yours. Give me tips on missiles, because I'm figuring them out and I need to learn more, because people with missiles destroy me. That being said, I have a tip for Harriers when you're fighting Harriers and their SRAMs. If you're in the F-100, make sure you're going over Mach and you're putting distance between you and him. The more distance you have between the Harrier and you, the better of a chance, if you're going Mach, to straight out outrun that missile. You'll get outside of its range before it's able to hit. And then tip number 2 is, if you're flying, you know it's going to hit you. You wait for the thrusters and the missiles to turn off, and then you kind of time it to when it's about to hit you, and you snap roll. Now, you can't do this when flying super fast. As like I stated earlier, the F-1000 has a very bad roll rate at high speeds, but you want to be going just under Mach or at Mach and snap roll. You got to be really careful, because you can rip these wings pretty easy with like a 13G overload. So just make sure you're not about to pull 13 Gs before you snap that, because I've personally dodged 5 SRAMs in a row doing that. Just when I think it's about to hit, roll. And also, I've actually had an SRAM fly formation with me. Like, it was just barely outside my range, lost enough speed, and I hear a missile and I look back and I just see it flying through the air with me. But alright guys, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching, and like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. We're approaching 200 subscribers on my channel, which is going to be a pretty big deal. I might do a giveaway or a special video, maybe try to get some subscribers into a match with me, maybe do some squad battles with them. Let me know if any of you guys are interested in that. I have a Discord we can all chat in. Leave that in the description. And like always guys, I'll catch you on the next one.